Hi everybody, I'm wanting to do a video series on why narcissists abuse, what leads to the abuse, and just kind of sort of dig in at a little bit of a deeper level than before. So I've talked in other videos about their manipulation tactics, I've talked about what narcissism is, but I've never gone into the lower lying mechanics of the narcissistic brain, heart, feelings, personality, whatever. So in a previous video, we've been talking about why do narcissists abuse people they love, even if they do legitimately love them. And it's because narcissists have a different love experience than people with feelings. And in the last video, we talked about empathy and how empathy and feelings do not exist in the narcissist. They only have their own feelings. They do not feel what you feel. They do not feel the feelings of others. They're the kind of people that don't cry during movies. They're the kind of people that can watch somebody put their dog to sleep and see somebody go through that devastation and destruction. But if they haven't ever gone through it themselves, if they have no frame of reference, they can't feel what somebody else is feeling. So they can't walk a mile in your shoes. But now, I want to talk about two very important concepts that further exacerbate this situation. And that is object theory. It's I believe it's a division of psychology, or a concept in psychology, where there's two main concepts that contribute to narcissistic abuse. And that is whole object relations and object constancy. So, well, whole object relations it's the ability to fully understand somebody for all of their good traits and all of their bad traits. In other words, for better or for worse. When you take your wedding vows and you hear that for better or for worse till death do us part, that little line right there is a commitment to whole object relations. It's exactly whole object relations within our society and within our societal norms. So whole object relations is the for better or for worse. You can understand that somebody is, a pretty good person. Maybe not a perfect person. They have their faults, but that's okay. And whenever you experience their faults or pains or shortcomings, you deal with it. And you say, okay, I understand you didn't do this on purpose. You hurt my feelings, but I know that it didn't happen on purpose. But I'm okay. I still love you because I love so much about you. So that's whole object relations. The ability to actually see somebody as being a permanent mix of good and bad traits. A permanent combination of things you like and you don't like. I know, for example, I'm ADHD. I struggle with cleanliness and tidiness around the house. Not hygiene. I'm pretty hygienic. But just being able to keep a house clean is really, really difficult for me, beyond what it is for most people. And I'm virtually unable to fold laundry just because it's just something that my brain cannot do. It's bizarre. So that would be an example of some of my bad traits, but my wife loves me anyway because I'm a super awesome dude. So there's that. So I'm a super awesome dude, but I'm messy and I can't do laundry, right? So that's whole object relations. Now, object constancy is the ability to persist that perception of somebody through an emotional change. So object constancy is, I have this super awesome husband. He's a great guy. I love him. He's the best man I've ever met ever in the freaking world. But he didn't do the laundry. I asked him to do the laundry. He didn't do the laundry. It's still there on the couch. Well, okay. Well, I know that about him, so I'm fine. So that's object constancy. When you do something that makes somebody else mad, that person gets mad, but their perception of you doesn't change. They still have that same whole object relational picture of you. So those two go together with normal people very well. With a narcissist, they do not have those abilities. So in the narcissistic mind, when it comes to whole object relations, they sort of see it more as a list of attributes about somebody with no emotional attachment to any of it. And they will only perceive you as one thing at a time. So when you're their friend, and you can be the best friend in the world. But then when you make a mistake or you do something that upsets them, you go from being a whole friend to a complete enemy, and they treat you as such. They don't see you as, this is my friend that just made an innocent mistake and it affected my life in some way. They don't see that. They see that as, you were my friend and now you've betrayed me because you've hurt me. You see how that works? Based on their emotional reaction to something that you've done will change 100% of your identity to them and how they relate to you. This is how you can be somebody's best friend for years, and then the second you give them some tough love or you tell them something they don't want to hear, they immediately shut you out, and they're like, I can't believe you would ever say something like that to me. Why would you say that? We're such good friends. You know, for years we've never had any problems, and now you go and you stab me in the back? I can't believe you. And of course, you know, you feel bad because you have empathy, but they do not. And your entire identity changes to them. You've gone from being a complete friend to all of a sudden revealing your true nature as being a backstabber and a cheat and a liar and all of this stuff. And you're like, whoa, calm the fuck down. All I did was not do the laundry, right? So that's how whole object relations comes into play. And then the object constancy it ties into that with the fact that during a conflict or during any sort of emotional change, that object constancy, they're not able to persist that whole mixed image of you at any one time. So there's no your relationship to them is entirely temporal. It's all entirely in the moment. You know, obviously it doesn't affect memory. They remember that they used to love you, and most narcissists do legitimately love somebody, but they don't feel feelings unless they're theirs. So the object constancy comes into play with, once you're their enemy, you're forever their enemy until you do something to make it up to them and then become friends again, and then you do the 100% flip. But these two tied together, my narc is always accusing me of being bipolar, of having a bipolar behavior. And for years, all I've ever said is, I want nothing to do with you. Like, all you have to do is just not talk to me. If you never say a word to me, you won't hear shit from me. Ever. But then she comes to me with these messages, and I call them a lie sandwich. I can always tell whenever she wants to try and do something or get away with something. I get a carefully worded, carefully crafted message. And I call it a lie sandwich because what it is it's like the preamble to the lie, and then there's the lie, and then there's the redirection at the end to try and get my mind off of the fact about whether or not she may have been lying, right? So whenever I call her out on it, whenever I say, you know, no, I'm not going to do that, then she goes into a narcissistic rage, and I get accused of being bipolar. You're always so bipolar, and especially when it's something where I say, you know, I can sometimes do something for our son, but not every time. Well, you know, okay, I take him to the doctor, once because he's sick and he's with me, so I take him to the doctor. She's fine with it, but then I take him to the doctor on my own accord for something, and she didn't approve it ahead of time. I mean, he's sick. He's fucking sick, right? But apparently I'm going behind her back now. I don't know, you know, I'm really disappointed you would go behind my back and take him to the doctor without talking to me first. Really? So taking my son to the doctor is somehow going behind your back and stabbing you in the back. Oh, so I hope this rings true with you. I hope this sounds very familiar and relatable to people. That's how they're the ones that flip flop. You can be as stable in your perception of people as can be. Their perception of people is just, it's a coin. People are coins. You're either friend or enemy, period. They either love you or they hate you. They're either happy or they're mad. It's that's all that they have. And the thing is because of the lack of object constancy, however they feel about you now, however they felt about you in the past, is no longer relevant. The feelings in the current and the present are the only thing that they feel and the only thing that matters. They don't process rapport or history. So please like, comment, or share. If you have a story about a narcissist that has accused you of being bipolar, or how you're always changing and stabbing them in the back or betraying them, that kind of stuff, please put your stories in the comments below. I want to hear from you, and hopefully other people watching this video can hear my stories and read your stories and come to a better understanding of what's going on in their lives. So thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next video.